In the heart of the Mediterranean, Malta stood as a critical stronghold for the British during World War II. Its harbors and airfields were vital for controlling supply routes to North Africa and southern Europe. Axis powers recognized its value, making it a prime target. Aerial views reveal British warships anchored in Grand Harbor, while Italian reconnaissance planes scout overhead. This tiny island would soon become one of the war's most fiercely contested battlegrounds. On June 11, 1940, Italy declared war on Britain and France, marking the start of Malta's ordeal. Italian bombers launched their first raids on Valletta, targeting military installations and civilian areas. Explosions rocked the city as people scrambled for shelter. The once peaceful island was now on the front lines. This relentless bombing campaign aimed to cripple British defenses and demoralize the population, setting the stage for a prolonged siege. By January 1941, Germany's Luftwaffe joined the siege, bringing devastating precision. Stuka dive bombers screamed down on Malta, targeting airfields and supply depots. Buildings crumbled under the onslaught, while anti-aircraft guns fired desperately. The island's defenses were stretched thin, and daily life became a struggle for survival. This escalation marked a turning point, as Malta faced its darkest days under the Axis's combined might. With Malta blockaded, British convoys faced a deadly gauntlet. Axis aircraft and submarines relentlessly attacked supply ships, sinking many before they reached the island. The Royal Navy fought valiantly to protect these lifelines, but losses were staggering. By 1942, Malta was on the brink of starvation, its people enduring severe shortages. This brutal interdiction campaign aimed to force surrender by cutting off all resources. In August 1942, Operation Pedestal became Malta's lifeline. A convoy of 14 merchant ships, including the vital tanker Ohio, battled through relentless Axis attacks. Only 5 ships survived, but their cargo of fuel, food, and ammunition saved the island. The crippled Ohio, towed into Grand Harbor, became a symbol of resilience. This hard-won victory bolstered Malta's defiance and marked a turning point in the siege. Malta's civilians endured unimaginable hardships. Daily bombings forced thousands into underground shelters where they lived for hours on end. Food was rationed to near starvation levels, and diseases spread in cramped conditions. Yet, the people remained resilient, supporting each other and the war effort. Children played amid rubble, and communities banded together. Their endurance became a testament to the human spirit under siege. The arrival of reinforced Spitfire squadrons in 1942 shifted the balance. These agile fighters, flown by skilled pilots, began to challenge Axis air superiority. Dogfights raged over the island, with Spitfires scrambling from makeshift runways. The RAF's growing strength allowed Malta to strike back, protecting convoys and harassing enemy supply lines. This aerial resurgence marked the beginning of the end for the Axis siege. By late 1942, Allied victories in North Africa forced Axis forces to withdraw from Malta. German and Italian bombers were redeployed, easing the relentless attacks. The island, though scarred, had held firm. British forces regrouped and supply lines reopened. Malta's survival became a symbol of Allied perseverance, proving that even the smallest bastion could defy overwhelming odds. With the siege lifted, Malta transformed into a launching pad for Allied operations. Bombers and submarines based on the island struck Axis supply routes to North Africa and Sicily. Naval forces assembled for the invasion of Italy, with Malta playing a pivotal role. The island's strategic value was now turned against its former tormentors, marking a dramatic reversal in its wartime story. In April 1942, King George VI awarded Malta the George Cross for its unparalleled bravery. The island's people had endured over 3,000 air raids without surrender. Post-war, Valletta was rebuilt, and veterans returned to honor the fallen. Malta's defiance became a beacon of hope, reminding the world that courage could prevail against even the darkest odds. The Siege of Malta remains a defining chapter in World War II history.